What's going on today, everyone? Welcome to Stank Killer Productions. Today we are working on the C7. I thought I blew a head gasket. Well, it turns out I did not blow a head gasket, and it was actually an oil cooler line that split on me. Coolant everywhere. So I guess it's a good thing I don't have to pull off the heads. And it's also another good thing. I've had a Pro Speed oil cooler breakout kit sitting in my house for a couple months now, I think. And so I figured now is probably a good time to install that, being that I have a broken factory oil cooler. So this replaces all the factory oil cooler components. It's a really nice fitting kit. I'll show you guys exactly where it mounts at and what it basically does that helps out the oil cooler and the coolant temps in the vehicle. So this is it. This is how it comes from Pro Speed. Well, kind of. Basically, you have to take these two panels and bolt it to the oil cooler that they supply you with. It's got these really cool swivel head fittings, so that way when you put the lines, it mounts right here, so the lines go up in through there, probably along the frame rail of the car, and then into the oil cooler, which is on the side of the motor over there. What it does is, so it basically keeps the oil cooler, the factory oil cooler, external from the factory radiator. And what that does is it lowers your coolant temps for the engine because you have less hot coolant going into your radiator. And it also lowers your oil cooler temps because you have a separate cooler that is getting tons of air through the front of the car through these vents that they set you up with. And so it lowers your oil cooler temps as well, which is awesome. So as you see, I got the motor torn down pretty well. I got the valve covers off, took the intake off. What I thought happened was I thought I had a head gasket blow on me. I was driving the car and I was getting into it a little bit, and I had coolant blow all over the windshield and everything. So I'm sitting here going, man, I done blew a head gasket. It was coming from over here, I knew that for sure. Well, while I was tearing down the car, I found the hose, which is way down in there. I seen it was split open, so I knew that's exactly what happened at that point. I knew we had an oil cooler line bust. So how the oil cooler line works is it doesn't have oil in it. It actually has coolant, and what happens is you get the oil in there, and the coolant is actually what tries to cool down the oil. Almost acts like a air to water intercooler type thing. So that's why it has coolant and not oil in that line. So we're gonna get this stuff bolted on the car. I'm having to redo some of my air to water heat exchanger fittings, so I'm redoing that because typically it was normally in the way where that thing sits. And then we'll get the front bumper back on, get the intake back on, start it up, make sure everything's good. I'm gonna go ahead and replace the plugs in it. With the issues that we're having with it, basically it's losing a lot of boost down the track, and the tune's staying the same. It's tuned for 28 pounds, so the plugs are just fouling out because I'm going down the track. It's throwing all this fuel in the car, and it's almost so bad at the very end of the pass it just completely noses over and I have to let out. So once we get that issue fixed, we will have a running car here. This thing is going to be a beast. It already is a beast. I mean, it went 860 on the brakes. I mean, that's fast, guys. So we'll get this small issues fixed. We're still waiting on our pulleys to show up, and we're still waiting on our ice box from No Corners Cut Fabrication. That's going to look a lot nicer back there, and we can finish cleaning all the back area of the car up because right now it is horrible. So yeah, so we're going to do this. We're getting ready for Streetcar Takeover Atlanta. That is this weekend. I do want to, send my condolences to Jeff Hageman's family. We lost Jeff Hageman last weekend. It was at the Wanna Go Fast event. Jeff is a longtime streetcar takeover racer, and got to know him very well over the last couple of years. Super nice guy. I'm gonna miss seeing him out the track. He always brightened our day up whenever he pulled that Cadillac out or the GTR. Just really awesome guy. So, man, rest in peace, Jeff Hageman. We're gonna be doing something for him at Streetcar Takeover Atlanta this weekend. So if you're in attendance, make sure you keep your eyes open and ears peeled for what we're going to be doing, because we're going to try to give him a great tribute. Pro Speed oil cooler ducting on. Man, this thing fits like factory. It bolts into existing holes that are already in the car that you don't currently use. Really, for the horn, it used to mount kind of like off to the side, so it's in the way. I'm just gonna cut straight down right here. There's already a bolt hole. And then it'll mount, basically it'll just sit in there just like that. So the horn will still be functional and everything. So no big deal there. And then it exits on the other side out of the brake ducting that goes into the wheel well of the car. So really neat design, and I'm sure it'll work very well. Keep the oil cooler temps, keeps the oil temps low and the radiator temps low. Alright, so been dealing with buying this new car for about 2.5 weeks now, It finally just dropped. It got delivered to my house. It's a long story, but it's here. It's good. The BMW M3 is gone. They took it back with them. I got a really good deal on this car. It may not be something y'all would think I would buy, but here it is. We got a 2018 Mustang with a Coyote engine in it. It's got the 10-speed automatic. Here it is. It's pretty nice. So this car has the blackout option, so it's got a black roof, black spoiler, all the emblems are black, black wheels. Looks pretty good. The wheels are already going to be coming off. We got some welds coming for it. It's got the performance exhaust on it. And then one of my favorite parts of the car, it's got the LCD dash in it, which is really cool. You can go through here, hit this little Ford button on the steering wheel. You can go through here and change the way the cluster looks. So you can make it look normal. We'll go back, and then it's got, see how it changed? It was all the way across, now it's just over here. You can pick what gauges you want in the middle. It's also got the big stereo in it, so it's got sub in the trunk. Black leather. It's pretty well optioned out in here. Does not have the performance pack on it, so that's why it's got the 3 vents instead of the 2 gauges right here in the middle. Got the 10-speed auto, which is the same transmission old Snow White's got in it, the ZL1. So yeah, Ford did a really good job with the interior on these cars. It's actually really nice, very well done. For the price of this car, you really can't beat it, besides, you know, possibly a Camaro. But as far as being on par with other competitors, the Chevy Camaro, this car, very well put together in the same price range. So pick your flavor. I would have bought another Camaro, but I already had one. So figure, let's try a Mustang, see how it works. So we're gonna be doing a build on this car. It's not gonna be too intense, but it is gonna be fast. We're probably gonna be doing a Hellion twin turbo kit on it. We're gonna lower the car, do some suspension mods to it. I got some weld wheels coming from Carlisle Racing. We're gonna do 17-inch, 17 by 10s in the back and 18 by 5s in the front. I am gonna daily. This car is gonna be a true daily driver car. I'm driving it every single day, so it's not gonna be a daily. This is gonna be the real deal daily driver. It's replacing the M3. I'm gonna keep these stock wheels and tires in case it's raining or something out. I'll swap the welds off of it, and I think we'll be able to make around 1,000 horsepower with this car, and possibly run low 9s in it, maybe high 8s, and still be able to drive it every day. Completely stock driving vehicle, which is really cool. And props to Ford for making such a cool engineered car. So with that being said, now we have the best of both worlds. We got a Mustang, and we got a Camaro, and we got a Corvette. So not only am I still kicking it with my GM cars, we are going to venture onto this Ford and see exactly what they're all about, coming from a guy who's never had a Mustang ever, or a Ford, besides the old Crown Vic over there. So we'll see what we can do with this, and I'll give an unbiased review on this car as we go on with the build process.